Yes, welcome back to the Hawks Hangout, proudly presented by the folks over at the Basketball Fix, and as always, powered by our day one sponsors over at Principal Brewing and Enable You To. If you still haven't gone and got yourself a Hawks Hazy, what the hell are you doing? State of Origin over there tonight, mate versus mate, state versus state. You already know what it is. But today we've got an absolute killer guest who needs no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway. He brings the heat. He brings it colder. Call him Frozilla, the rim patroller. Harry Froling is in the house. What is going on, Harry?
What's happening? How you doing? Good to be on.
Good, mate. It's really great to have you, mate. You just heard that little nickname he's giving you there. We pride ourselves on giving the players nicknames. He gave Sammy Limp Biscuit this year because he keeps falling. That was his, and you know what? At games they started playing.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah. So
no, I haven't heard Frollerzilla before. I get Froller Bear a fair bit. Everyone thinks I look like a big bear, so that's a new one to add.
That's quality, mate. So you're back at the Hawks, mate. Just a first little quick question to get started. What jersey number are you thinking about wearing this year?
I don't know. It's tough because I'm number 11, and Greeta's obviously been number 11. And last time I was there, I floated the idea of, hey, Greeta, can I get 11? And he's like, nah, no chance. So I've already told him I'm coming in and I'm taking 11, but that's obviously not going to happen. And then my backup number's always been 13. So that's sort of put me in a bit of a rock and a hard place. And then here with Melbourne Tigers, I've been wearing number 2, but it's not really my style. It's sort of a guard thing. So I'll probably go back to the 31. Sort of, it was never really a number I wore. It was just because I was like, all right, I can't do 11 backwards. I can at least do 13 backwards and turned into 31. So I guess it's kind of cool where me and Sam are similar numbers, and I guess probably helps the fans who, I don't know how many jerseys of mine were bought from back in the 2022 days, but for the people that did buy jerseys, they don't, they're not rolling in and having to buy a new jersey. So I'll probably go with the 31 again if it's available.
I love that. Well, your brother's going to be out till Jan, so maybe you could just wear the 13.
Yeah, if you know Sam, you think that's happening? Dreaming.
Mate, you can see we're in our origin stuff today. Well, just before we get into our questions more about you, what's your tip for tonight's big game?
I reckon Queensland. I'll go 18-14. I reckon.
I think your brother went 26-20 on 98 this morning. So
yeah, that bloke's got no idea anyway. So
I love it. Let's get started, mate, with the first segment.
They are obviously, this one's called the Comeback Trail. We all know your story. It's absolutely inspiring. It's been a long road back for you. Firstly, congratulations. It's an absolutely massive achievement on any single level. Talk us through the recovery, both physically and mentally, from what you've gone through.
Yeah, well, obviously I've talked about it a fair bit, so a lot of people would know the story. But yeah, I had a brain bleed and craniotomy, and I think it's epidural hematoma, so bleed between the brain and the skull on the inside, and yeah, obviously got that evacuated and had emergency brain surgery and all that. And, that led to a plethora of issues. And like anyone, if you talk to anyone that's had that operation or, major head injuries, it's sort of a roll of the dice, right? Like, you could come out not being able to talk, walk, all that sort of things. You could come out with, part of your brain not working. You could come out with all different things. And obviously I came out with I was probably on the luckier end of things. Obviously, I had my issues and all that, and headaches and the dizzy. It's like a constant concussion that you're living with. Like, just you're constantly drained. If you just feel like a flat battery almost. Like, you just, no matter how well you try and sleep or sleeping tablets or whatever, you're always waking up just down in the dumps and real deflated. So I guess it's the brain rewiring, and your brain chemistry is all messed up, along with the mental side of you're not playing, you're not working. I haven't earned money for 2.5 years, which is a long time for anyone. I don't care how rich you are, if you're living out of pocket, it's not easy to do. And Not a lot of support at all, really, from I guess the NBL, which it wasn't their place to support me, but the Bullets obviously as well, and I touched on that and all that. But it was just sort of, I say on my own, but obviously I have my family, my friends, and the people that cared and the people that helped me through. So I'm not minimalizing that, but I just meant in terms of like employment sort of things. I know a lot of other places and in the world, if you get hurt at work or on a work road trip or whatever, they usually support you. I know AFL, when players get injured or have to retire from injury, they support them pretty well. And I guess I just had to figure it all out and go through it on my own. And I think it's definitely something I'll be vocal with in the Players Association and all that sort of stuff, just for not even injuries, like life after basketball, like seeing, I guess for now, me seeing what I've been through and the recovery process and how down you can get and how lonely it is. Like for dudes that retire, it's, and some guys have been on 90, 100 grand their whole careers and they're retiring and going into a world with no experience. Like it's a pretty dark place. And it's just good to have support.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Corey and I ourselves, like we started this podcast as a way of, getting together, talking shit, mates and mates, all the rest of it. And, reliving our own mental health journey and going through the battles and the battles that come associated with that as well. So, to hear that you're vocal about the struggles and the advocacies, for life after basketball, like it's huge. Like no one should have to face it alone and all the rest of it. So the fact that you're talking about that for, players like yourself who, for a while there you weren't playing basketball, that's huge. And especially like this next one as well, like what pushed you through those dark times after being told like you weren't medically cleared to play? Like I remember reading the article and I was just like, I was shattered for you, but I was shattered for like your family as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I went through at least 12 to 15 months of like just depression, sadness, getting fat, not playing basketball, not earning money. Like I went through all that, and then I guess what got me through it was just like friends and family. Like I wasn't great to be around for those good 12 months, and they put up with me, and it was nothing crazy, but it was just not being fun to be around. I was miserable. I was a Debbie Downer, and they stick with you, and the people that care about you help you through things. Like obviously Sam was huge with his support. Dean Anderson, up Mackay, the Virgos, just Toddy Blanchfield's aunt and uncle, Debbie and Mick Virgo. They had me in Mackay when I decided to move up there, and my best mates, like I talk about, Lockie Venus, Will Magnay, they were sort of the ones that like gave me a bit of a spray when I needed to hear it. Like they sort of let me do my thing and got to the point where I was like, all right, Harry, like we love you and what you've been through is shit, but you can't keep, acting like this. And I was like, you know what, this isn't the environment for me living in Brisbane. I was pissed at the Bullets. I was miserable with life. I was like, this is just not, I knew I wasn't going to be back in Brisbane. Like even if they offered me $1 million, I wasn't going back there. So I was like, what's the point of me sitting here and staying in Brisbane? I'll go do something I love if basketball is done. So I moved up to Mackay just to be around a team environment. And obviously Joel Carlu was there, and I'd already played for him before. And we've obviously got a player-coach relationship, but we're also, good mates off the court. And also I'm good mates with his brother. And it was just one of those ones where I was like, hey, I'm going to roll the dice, and I'm probably going to be a liability, but it's NBL 1. I'll come up, I'll do a bit of training and see how I go, and I'll do me fishing. I had a big 6.5 meter boat, so I was like, I'll come up and I'll do me fishing in the meantime, and I'd do one training with the Meteors boys, and I'd be out for 2 weeks with just back, knee issues. Just I was 160 kilos trying to train after doing nothing, and just started doing my fishing, my spear fishing, which I got pretty good at, and that takes a fair bit of fitness. So slowly doing that every weekend. I sort of was dropping a kilo a week, and it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm starting to roll now. If I can get to the point where I'm fit enough, I knew I wasn't ready to go and be an injury replacement or train in the NBL, play in the NBL last year, but I was like, I sort of set the date of January. I was like, if I can get to a point where by January next year, and this is obviously what I started in March in Mackay, I was like, if I can get down to, so I don't know how many, 8 months or whatever it is, if I can get down to around that 135 mark, and go train with the Hawks, even just as a fill-in, like I'd go in, be Matt Hurt, be Rob Lowe, be the training squad, and just help out. I'm like, I'll go do that because it'll just be good for me to be around. Obviously, NBL 1's done. Be around an environment where I already had a good relationship with most of the team. I pretty much knew everyone besides sort of Trey and Darius, and obviously the support, like the staff, owners, physio, weights coach. He was sending me programs pretty much since day dot when I got injured, and obviously Mutt's the physio has been great for me. Like any questions, I'm calling him all the time, just like, hey, what are you doing? What are you here with? With just everything, and because obviously it's a long journey to come back from, and I wasn't out seeing physios, and I wasn't out like when I was making the comeback, I didn't have access to all that. So yeah, just to go through that and have the support, and there was a bunch of people that helped me out, and yeah, it's just been a long road and long journey, but it's good to be on the pointy end of it, and yeah, be back in the Gong.
That's great,
Absolutely,
mate. Like, I'm sure when you got that phone call, you mentioned a little bit there, it would have been like awesome to get that phone call from the Hawks to say that they want you for this year and get that two-year deal. But how did that feel?
Yeah, it felt good. Obviously, I had a fair bit of interest, and a few of the other teams, they're sort of waiting, as you can see, they still haven't made moves on their roster. Like they're waiting until the end of free agency, and I probably could have waited if I wanted to and see how it all plays out the next few weeks and try get try end up on a full roster spot this year or not be an injury replacement or whatever. But I was like, Wollongong, it honestly just seemed like the stars are aligning, like replacing Sam, restoring it. Like they've done so much for me, helping me out. Like I can take a bit of a pay cut and restore a bit of faith or pay back the faith that they've shown and had in me and help me out. And I love the Gong too, and it's kind of a full circle. Obviously, not that I was playing for the Hawks, but where I got punched and had my injury, and obviously even that didn't scare me off. Like I know I'm around good people and people that care about me, and I know how majority of the Hawks fans are and love having me around, and my brother obviously. So I'm just excited to get back, and yeah, I love Wollongong, so it's going to be great.
Absolutely. And speaking of Wollongong, mate, like there's a few players there that you've mentioned. Obviously, you're coming back. You get to play alongside Sam when he comes back. You get to play alongside Harvey, and you get to play alongside Greeter as well. What does it mean to be able to come back? And obviously the club's been built around those three in the past few years, but now adding yourself back into that mix, what does that mean for you as well?
Yeah, well, I think obviously my role, like we had a super loaded team last time, and how Gorge rolls with he rolls 7 deep, and my role probably wasn't as big, or wasn't I didn't come in expecting to play a whole heap, and I don't really have any expectations this year either. Like don't know what they're doing with an import. Sam's still yet to come back and all that. I'm just going to roll in, and my thing now is I'll just play my basketball, play the right way, and do my thing in whatever plays. Like, if it's sitting and cheering and waiting for my time, it will be. If it's, say, you need to play big minutes and cover for Sam until he's back, like, I'll do that. It's just, I'm just happy to be around it, and to be in an environment where everyone gets along, everyone's great dudes, such a good culture there, and I'm just excited to be, whatever my role is, I'm happy to be there, and yeah, just try to get the best out of myself, and I think JT will be good for me, early, he's a bit like, he's got similarities to Joey Wright in my early days in Adelaide when I think I was playing my best basketball, and just a player's coach that you can get along with and talk to, and then when he needs to, he can get what he needs out of his players, and obviously everyone respects him, and everyone just plays hard for him. He's not kicking up a stink and screaming and got to go berserk, but when he says, hey, do this, do that, everyone's like, yep, got it, on it, respect him. And then when it's, hey, have a bit of fun and enjoy your time and dancing before practice and all that, like, it's good. It's just good to be around, and it's such a good group. So it's yeah, just made sense for me, and it's the big picture for me long term. So if I can end up there a while, it'll be great.
Yeah, that's cool, mate. Talked about that last stint that you had. with the Hawks. We look back at that squad. I would argue that on paper that squad was probably stronger than the squad that we actually had this year that won the title. So it goes to show you that it's about that togetherness and how well you get on, and like sharing those minutes around and building that team together. But I remember, mate, you had some big games that year. I remember vividly that home game against Adelaide where you dropped 27, hit like 8 threes. Like you were absolutely buzzing. And when you were on one, like you get the crowd going. It was like absolutely buzzing. Do you have fond memories of that game?
Yeah, well, as I said, sort of, I love playing. I love basketball. I've always been super talented, and I guess my off court, and I talked about this, like my off court stuff and how I just looked after my body and in general how I took everything. I probably it didn't match up well with how I was on court. I think that Wollongong year I was a lot better and I was in pretty good shape, and obviously the opportunity wasn't there with the way we subbed and all that. But I think throughout my career I've always shown that I can put points on the board, and I would love to know the stats, but I've had I know in Brisbane I had a bunch of 20-point games and high teen-point games, but then I'd have games where I have 5 points and 2 points and hardly play. So it's sort of always been a bit of a roller coaster with my stuff, and I think now that it's funny seeing I think NBL Pleb, shout out to NBL Pleb, posted something about my stats since returning to basketball, and even in the NBL 1 level, like I've always been pretty elite at this level, but to see the consistency where game after game I'm putting up efficient numbers, shooting at a high clip from field goal percentage and all that sort of thing, and seeing it sort of translate where now my off court stuff matches up with my on court, and seeing the results. And as I said, I'm still I'll roll into preseason. I'm still probably aiming to drop another 10 kilos. So I'm not where I need to be yet, and I'm still chipping away at it. But yeah, I've been out for 2.5 years, and as I said, I'm just not satisfied. I'm not a finished product. Whereas, this time 4 years ago, I'd be the way I am now, and I'd be content with where I'm at, and I'd roll in. Probably still not in the best shape. Play my role, end of the bench, do whatever. Whereas now I'm like, all right, I'm going to come in whole off season. I'm going to work. Preseason, I'm going to work. And then by the time season comes around, like if you look at me now compared to then, I should look completely different once again. So, I'm just excited to get into it, and then whatever happens from there. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I love it. We love the dog mentality. We love it. It's what this town's about. It's what our team's about. And yeah, as soon as we saw that you announced that you were coming back, we're like, there's no one that deserves it better and is a bigger and better dog than you. So yeah, it's huge, man. So
I appreciate it.
One for you, and Corey's going to give you this one, but you're part of a massive basketball family, and he's like, throw this one out there, but if you were to build your ultimate Froling, so
yeah,
Keely, yourself, Sam.
Yeah, I saw Sam did this, and he did the politically correct answer, and then he was texting me different shit. So I'll do the real answer.
Do the real one.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, I know, like, if, for example, like I'm taking your 3-point shooting, I'm not free throw shooting. So,
yeah.
So that's a little example. So
what Sam said to me behind closed doors, here's an exclusive for you, is he'll take his everything plus my shooting. Is what he said. Is what he actually said. But he gave a political answer of the girl's dad this to keep everyone happy because he's the youngest child. He's the golden boy. But I mean, realistically, if I did a real one, I wouldn't. I'm working on it. I wouldn't take my defense. I don't know if I'd take Sam's defense either. Not that he's a bad defender, but I'd probably give. Keely moves all right. I'll give Keely defensively. Oh, actually, no. Dad defensively. That's a no-brainer. That was silly. I don't know why I was thinking of Keely. Sorry, Keely. I'll take my shooting. I'll take my passing. That's night and day. Sam thinks he's a better passer, but he's not. I'll take Sam's athleticism.
Yep.
I won't take my finishing. I'll take Sam's finishing. He's pretty good around the rim. He's efficient.
Yeah.
I'll probably take Mum's calmness and leadership. She's probably level-headed. I get a bit carried away, and I know Sam gets carried, and the girl. And we all get carried away, especially with the refs. So Mum's a former ref and knows how to play the game. So I'll take her sort of leadership. What am I missing? I don't know. It's probably, what else is there? What else you need?
reckon for the
size.
Size.
I wouldn't take Sam's arms; they're short as. So I'd take if you're building the character, he's got short arms. I'll take Sam's height though, if that's one.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know what else there really is.
Free throw shooting. Who you got? Who's the best?
I don't know. I've only ever been. I think I've only been 70s or 75s. So not Sam's free throw shooting. I've been bagging Sam this whole time, like he's not a good basketball player. But I don't know. I don't know if Keely shoots. I don't know. If I'll take my free throw shooting, even though it's percentage wise probably not. I don't think it's in the 80s, but
so you back
take mine.
Game on the line. Gonna knock him down.
Yeah, I think I had one in Taranaki where I hit the free throws to win the game, so I'll back myself in. And Alicia, I've left Alicia out. Sorry, Afrol, I'm not being politically correct. You're not included.
I love honesty.
She'd probably be tenacity, and if you needed she's got a bit of snark about her on the court, which is a good thing.
Love it. Now, there's a bit of a cult following around you and your return. Obviously, the nickname Froller Bear, the energy with the fans down here. How's it going to feel walking back into that stadium for that first game?
Yeah, I sort of felt, it was a bit like weird because obviously I'm already playing basketball. My goal was always to get back to the NBL this year and in whatever capacity it was, and sort of had that like every time I was going through what I've been going through pretty much since I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a crack again. I'd sort of lay there and like picture, I guess running out on court and all that. And then I sort of got it like that moment with Taranaki because it came out of nowhere and got to return. And that was sort of like hey, I'm sure it'll be emotional and NBL and all that, but I've sort of gone through that phase now with, I'm back playing and doing my thing. Sort of like I haven't been gone for 2.5 years. Like now I'm back into it. I've played, 20, 30 games, whatever it's been that I've played now. But yeah, it'll be a cool feeling, and yeah, probably be a bit emotional, but it'll be. I'm excited. Obviously, as I said, I love Wollongong. I love getting the crowd into it, and I think along with me and Greedo, we're good at getting the crowd going and a bit of fan favourites, and just love it there, man. It's so good, and the Hawk heads and the fans are just unbelievable. Like even walking around town when I was there, like this year, walking around, like they're still always chatting to you, know who you are, recognise you, and just, it's such a cool place because NBL's losing a bit of that where, in the bigger cities and, when I was in Brisbane, around, like you walk around, no one knows you, no one gets around you. It's not, it's all AFL and rugby in the other bigger cities, and Wollongong are just Hawkheads through and through. They love us there, and it's such a special place.
Love that. Now, mate, we're going to look now a bit more into the Hawks. So it's never easy joining a team that's just won a championship, but I believe as a sports fan, you can't just bring the same group together. You got to add something because team's going to work you out. Now, what do you think you bring to this Hawk squad that they maybe didn't have last year? I've got my opinion on this, but I'd like to hear yours.
Yeah, I think just versatility. Like, obviously, sort of my start of my career, I probably played a bit more 4 than I did 5, and I think now I'm probably coming back more of a 5 than a 4. So I think shooting the ball will be a big one. Like, sort of I can emulate the way Sam plays with the the high splits action and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of the time they can sit in the drops off him and clog the keyway on his high elbow catches, and just because he's not looking to shoot it. And obviously he's working on that and getting better at all that. But if I can come in and they have to guard me, honestly, I think it just frees up the keyway a lot too. And just general energy and I just love hooping, like rebounder and all that sort of thing. So I think the versatility will be a big one. And I think with the way the roster is this year, like we're going to need guys, obviously depending on what happens with that import at the 4-5 or whatever ends up happening there. While Sam's out, having guys, Mace can slot into the 5, Toddy at the 4, Greeter can play a bit of 4. If we need to go big, I can play the 4, and depending on what happens with the roster. And I think that helps a lot when you got that versatility, because there'll be games where, they might be smaller athletic foremen and, the Vic Law types of the world where you got to roll with a Mace or a Toddy Blanchfield. And then you got teams where they might have a bigger four or a stronger, like a guy that's more a Finn Delaney or something like that, who's more of a bruiser and around the rim. And just having that versatility as a team, I think, is always a good thing. It's what they had last year a lot with their bench, and with Lee and Davo and Trey, obviously all those guys, they could interchange, and then when they needed it, chuck in a greeter and get the energy burst you need. And then obviously Toddy did his thing too. So it's just cool to have a team where you're so versatile, and everyone genuinely is so happy for each other. Like, there's no whinging, there's no complaining. It's just like whoever's rolling their time. And you look at it, everyone always says you get rewarded for winning championships, and someone like a Greeter or a Toddy or whatever, like not playing a whole heap for the throughout the year, and then the way they play the finals, they don't win it without those two dudes. So, and then you look at it and they get rewarded. So if you look at the whole season, they might be, you could say on other teams they'd be disappointed or complaining or whatever, but not once from those guys, and you get rewarded for it. And I think that's a cool thing to see and learn from. And I'm just excited to get in and be around a great group.
Yeah, man, I have to agree with you. Like me and Sam said all last season on this potty, that like the only thing that we sort of feel that we lack is that stretch 4-5 who can play in that 4-5 role and hit the three. We all know that the guys who are there are capable of it, but they're not necessary. Defenses aren't necessarily going to put high pressure on them on that perimeter. But you're different. Like you can hit that three at a real efficient rate, and teams are going to have to guard you out there, which, like you said, is going to open up that middle. And it's really exciting for us. I think that's the one thing I was desperate to have. Obviously, there's also the talk about Matt Hurt potentially being an import. Having you two guys there who are both that sort of stretch guys would be pretty special for the Hawks, I think, in this season.
Yeah, it just makes it a different, a different way to guard it. Like a lot of the time when you're guarding a non-shooting big, you just sit in the paint, and it makes all those back doors and cuts and just clogs up the lane a bit more. And obviously that can play to other guys' strengths. Someone like Sam, when they're backed up 3 meters off him, and he can drive it and then use his body and all that. So it's not, a negative or a positive, but it's just a different look. And, sometimes you roll it out, and if they're in a drops coverage the whole time and we want them out of a drops coverage, then you throw in, you can throw in a Matt Hurd, or you throw in a me, or, and then it should pull them out of it, and you see what it looks like. And then it's just cool to have those options. And obviously with the coaching staff, like such a great high IQ group, and they've shown they're not afraid to roll the dice, and which I think is such a good thing of having such a good group. Like, you can roll the dice, and one game you might get a DNP, but there's no on a lot of teams I've been on, the ship starts to sink when a few of your top guys or dudes aren't playing. As soon as it starts to creep in with the negative stuff, it can be like cancer and spread through the team. And just to have those guys and watch them do it, and it was cool to watch and appreciate. And I'm just so happy for the boys getting that championship.
Yeah. Now, look, we mentioned the front court. Obviously, you, Sam, when he's back, you've got Meso in there. You got Luca. You'd be able to slot in, someone like Toddy, who's, killing it in NBL 1, playing the 4-5 at the moment. Front court's got size. What kind of identity do you think that's going to bring to the team? Obviously, we pride ourselves on our defense and our bench depth last year. What do you think that's going to look like going forward this year?
Yeah, well, obviously there's still a few pieces to add, and I think that import spot will be big depending on who they get. Obviously, with Sam being out a while, and you need to go get a high level guy that can play the 4-5 and just cover till obviously Sam's back, and then hopefully they can bump down to the 4 spot and don't miss a beat. So yeah, I think just the versatility of the group is probably the biggest thing. And yeah, it's just such a great group. And I think just having those options and changing it up, right? Because we're going to be a little bit of a different looking team with obviously Lockie leaving and Sam out, and even the first half of the year till Sam's back, if he gets back in good time, it'll be a different team and a different look with still a lot of the carryover from last year. So you still got your Tylers, Davo, all those boys, and it'll just be, I think it should be good. And a little bit of a change is good. It changes up the look and the scouting and all that from last year, where teams can't just go, all right, here's what worked for us, and they're going to have to figure it out again this year with the group we got. And it's just a great group.
And speaking of the great group itself, we'll talk about the great man himself, Coach Tatum. Have you spoken to the man yet? Have any contact with him? How's the relationship with him?
No, I actually haven't. Not since I've signed. He's obviously overdoing his thing, coaching overseas, and I think he likes to reset and get away and do his thing. So, I've been speaking to JK a bit and Matty Campbell and Big Joe and trying to sort of rental and all that sort of stuff. But it's sort of like, it's not really like a recruiting call with me sort of thing. Like, I was there obviously I felt like I was a part of the team last year. Like, I was there since January. I did a good 3 months there. I was at all the team events. I was out on I went to the Drake concert, which JT sorted. He's such a great guy. And, he just, like Sam always says, he's just so easy to play for. And, since I got there, like, I rolled in and he made me feel like I was part of the team, like, the whole year. He was just talking to you, how you going, like, big fella, what's happening. And then, he would say things to people about me and compliment me and say he likes me and all that. And they would get back to me and just made you, like, for what I was going through, just made you feel like, and that wasn't me expecting to come play for the Hawks or anything. It was just, hearing that sort of feedback and all that. And it just helped me through what I was going through. And yeah, to do that. And, I wasn't signed with the Hawks. I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't employed with them when I got punched, but for them to sort of welcome me in with open arms and help me through all the stuff I went through, like, it speaks volumes of an association and a coach, because very easily could have just been that we don't want someone coming in leading into finals disrupting us. Without knowing me, obviously he knew Sam and had seen me around and all that sort of stuff, but to just do that and have faith in me and that I'll come in and do the right thing. And I think that obviously helped me with this off season. And then now they've seen me sort of 6 months later or whatever it is, and I've probably dropped another 12 kilos, so they see I'm doing the work and see the way I'm playing at this level and know I'm not satisfied. And I think that obviously has helped me in the long run.
That's so good, because we've raved about Tatum on our time on this podcast. We can't speak highly enough of him. I actually called it as the most important part of the Hawks franchise history was making that decision to make Tatum head coach, because since then they've just been on an incredible streak and broke that drought on winning titles. So, and all the things that you've said, kind of like we thought, but coming from a player just makes us, like, we knew that he was a great players coach. We knew that he trusted his assistant coaches, which sometimes some head coaches don't necessarily do that well. So it's great hearing it from a player. So, that's great to hear. But we're going to move on, and we're going to hit you with some fan questions.
Yeah.
Fan question is, what is your, and I know you're trying to drop some weight, which is, what's your go-to cheat meal?
Oh, cheat meal. I mean, I guess you could say I probably ate too many cheat meals back early on in my career, but am I guilty? I don't know, probably like a burger or something. I'm not like, I just always ate too much. I've never had a sweet tooth or anything. I always just lasagna, but I'd eat too much. Like, my portion size was never in check. And now I've obviously weigh all my food and I'm locked in on all that stuff. I can see the difference, like just little things, the calories that you're putting in without the ghost calories. You don't realize how many calories are in certain things. And probably a big dirty burger meal or chicken wings or something like that. So
here's boy Elroy, mate. Have you been there? Seen Lockie?
Yeah, I have. I love those guys there, but probably shouldn't visit too much. Chicken and rice for me right now. So
love that. You throw the next one.
This one, and I can't pronounce his last name. I think it's Gridar. He's asked, what is the Lord prophecy and what does it mean to fulfill it?
The old prophecy. So me and Gridar, last season when I was there training with the boys, we'd put on a little voice. I've always got I always bring these quirky little things to the teams I'm on, and obviously I'm a bit of a larrikin, so I think the first year I was in Wollongong, it was the buzzer. So whenever someone would say something or crack a joke that wasn't very good, you'd hit them with a buzzer, and that sort of trickled through the whole group. And anything you said, even if it wasn't worth buzzering, everyone was just getting buzzed. I know Gorge was buzzering people, and then sort of last time I rolled in, I started saying to Greta, the prophecy must be fulfilled, and we'd say it in a bit of a stupid voice. It's like, the prophecy must be fulfilled. And now it's carried over. And then leading into the semi-final, I actually went up to Mason and I told him, because it was just a me and Greta inside joke, and then told Mason to go say it, and Mace goes up pre-game when they're about to run out and said it to Greta, and then Greta got super hyped. So it's sort of turned into a bit of a running joke, and I know Greta's missus isn't happy about it. He always talks in that voice at home, and the prophecy. And then it's funny because we were just sort of making stuff up, but now it's turned into the prophecy is like me returning to basketball, and the prophecy will be where I end up, and it's probably going to be a bit of carry on about the prophecy when I'm finally back in the Gong with the boys. But yeah, it's just a bit of banter, and that's just the group we have. Like, it's good fun.
Love that, mate. A good mate of mine does a bit of volunteering stuff at the Hawks. Big Dan.
Yeah,
top guy. And he told me he's the one you've already mentioned already that you're the world's biggest fisherman.
Yeah.
If you've ever caught anything as big as him before.
Oh, actually, we've caught a 10-foot tiger shark. So that's a bit. I don't probably wasn't as heavy, but he's lost a lot of weight. He's looking good. That's not saying it's just sharks aren't necessarily. It would have been actually it would have been heavier than him. Now I think about it. But yeah, 10-foot tiger shark's the biggest I've caught. So I definitely had him covered in the length or height, I guess you'd call it. But yeah, no fish as big as him. I don't think I'd be getting it in, to be honest. I'm mainly a spearo too, so you don't spear anything that big.
Fair enough. Mate, Big Dan likes to shoot the threes like you as well. You should take him on in a contest at training one day.
Yeah, he's always talking smack to me about his jumper, and
like 17 threes in a game once.
Yeah, he probably took 50.
Pass the ball. I just pass the ball, and he loves playing with the chickens, but they shoot.
Yeah.
Loves it. Okay, let's get into the next one.
All right. We've got a rapid fire one, so it's either or. So I'll say it, and then whichever one you feel the most obliged to, just go with that. So I've got Duncan or shooting threes.
Threes.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Home game or away games?
Home.
Home games. Nice. Win a chip, eat some chips.
Win a chip.
And dining in or dining out?
Probably dining in. I'm a pretty good cook. That was sort of my payment to Sam last time I lived in Wollongong, because I was obviously stayed with him for 8 weeks or whatever, and I just covered the food, and I think I ended up paying more in food bills than I would have paid if I just gave him rent. But I think he was happy having me cook for him every night, and I say that contributed to his performances.
What was your specialty meal for him? What was his go-to?
Bit of lasagna. I do sort of a bit of everything. Potato bakes. Probably lasagna is the go-to that the boys love. So, it's good.
Love that. Mate, we're going to go some locker room vibes now. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your teammates. So who's got the worst music taste in the locker room?
I don't really know. I know Sam just loves Kanye. I'm not a huge, I like Kanye, but he just listens to Kanye. But Greta's in that same boat too. So I'd probably say one of those two. I don't really remember the other boys' music taste too much. There's never really music blaring in the locker room or anything. It's pretty tame. But yeah, definitely I'd say Sam or Greta, because they're just Kanye obsessed. They bought Kanye candles. So there's candles with Kanye pictures on it, and they've got it up in their rooms, and yeah.
Special. Right, who's the quiet assassin on the team? Someone who doesn't really say much, but is absolutely cooks when they're playing at practice.
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably Toddy Blanche. He's just a cool cat. He just cruises around, then all of a sudden he puts 4 threes on you, and he's got a quick 12 points, and then he just walks off, like the old head, and goes subs himself out and just sits down. It's so he's obviously learned how to get the most out of his career and getting a bit older, and the way he's playing, unbelievable. But yeah, probably Toddy B, and he'll get going though and start talking when he needs to. But yeah, he can put him up quick and you turn around. Tyler's another one too, but his isn't really a quiet. When he's putting points on, he's got the ball and he's making ridiculous shots, and it's pretty loud. So yeah.
And just touching on Toddy B, like we've obviously had Dan and Luca on the podcast recently, and they've said he's a bit of a serial pest in the locker room. Now, apparently, he's got personalised banter for everyone. Do you ever cop the brunt of Toddy's personalised banter?
Oh, a little bit. Me and Toddy go like fair way back, obviously, and yeah, we always got a bit of banter. And he's a Spiro too, actually. So he was sort of one that I was always we got out a bit when we were in Mackay and went spear, and he's a good spear fisherman. So always copping a bit of smack talk, and he calls me Big Herm. I think they used to call Harry Morris Big Herm for, I guess, Harry M. Herm. And then I rolled in and Harry was gone, or Harry Morris was gone. So then he just started calling me Big Herm, which was kind of annoying me, but I was getting called someone else's name. But other than that, like, he just throws banter and trash talk. And a lot of his mates up in Mackay I'm pretty close with. So yeah, it's good.
I love that, mate. We're going to throw one at you here. I'm interested to see your answer. Start, bench, cut. Sam, Keely, yourself.
Are we going based on like my own delusional confidence, or like if you genuinely looked at careers and went,
No, don't nothing like that. You just tell me what you want. Like, if you want to, you obviously got to start yourself, bro. Just do it.
Yeah, Keely be off this, but I'll start me, bench Sam, cut Keely. Those two are interchangeable though. Keely's won 2 championships. If you went accolades, I'd probably go. You'd have to go start Sam, bench Keely, cut me. But if you just went the other way, I'd go start me, cut bench Sam, cut Keely.
Love that. Love the honesty, man.
That's all right. We were expecting you to say that you're going to.
And Keely's a great player, and she's got more championships than me, and is an opal and all that. So there's no knock on Keely, but Sam's also got accolades and does well, and obviously being in the NBL, that's where I want to excel and all that. So that's why Keely gets bumped.
Love it. Now, you touched on your time training with the Hawks last season, and big, massive shout out to him. He's been picked up. He's over there killing it over the moment with the Chicago Bulls. Now, you or Lockie in a game of horse at training. Who's winning?
At horse, yeah. I got Lockie covered in horse. That's
Love that.
Yeah. I think you've probably seen. I've had a few circus shots in the NBL and over the backboard shots, and when there's no defense or not in the game, I've got a bit up my sleeve. So yeah, I don't know if there'd be many that could beat me in horse. I'd say maybe Tyler.
Love that.
Yeah.
We might have to do a horse competition.
Yeah.
Now, dream dinner guests. If you had any 3 people, dead or alive, me and Sam both thought about this before. My 3 would be like Ricky Gervais, Ned Brockman. I'm a big fan of Ned Brockman. I think he's just a great normal guy, has done extraordinary things. And Michael Jordan. They'd be my 3. Sammy?
Yeah.
I had MJ, Robin Williams, Kurt Cobain. Just simple.
What would your 3 be?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, trying to think. I think Dennis Rodman you'd have to throw in there. He'd have some wild stories if you could get the stories out of him.
Yeah.
MJ, I guess you'd have to have MJ in there, like the stories he would have as well. If I went away from basketball,
like a musician.
I don't know, probably like some historical figure like Ned Kelly or something like that, just to hear about. If you just go throw it back, I know he's an outlaw, and I don't know what he was politically like, so don't cancel me if he wasn't a great person, but I don't know, someone from way back in the day, like a Genghis Khan or something. I don't know. I don't know what their political standings, or I don't know much about them, but just pull someone from the history line and just hear about what used to happen back in the 1700s or 1800s or thousands of years ago.
Yeah, that's cool. What is the one song that hypes you up no matter what? Can be anywhere. It could be supermarket, anywhere, and you'll just drop everything and it just hypes you up.
Probably Iris, Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah.
Greatest song. One of the greatest songs of all time. That live performance in the rain. Watch it on YouTube. Unbelievable.
No, it was pretty special getting to watch that down here. They
Yeah, it was cool to go see that too.
oh, best thing ever. Now, there's not one on here, and I remember asking the boys about it when they were on the podcast as well a little while back. And it's escaped me, but it'll come back to me. Corey will move on because it'll come back to me because it was one and it was related to that as well.
I got one more. If basketball didn't exist, what would be your potential career path?
I got a lot of mates up in the mines, up in Queensland, and I've always been, I don't know, I've never been diagnosed, but I've always been pretty hyper and ADHD or a bit of a larrikin and all that. So I don't know how I'd go sitting down at a desk all day. Done a bit of, my buddy's a big time tradie in Brisbane, Lockie Venus, and I went and did a couple cashies and helped him for the day and crawling around and nailing and drilling decks. I thought being a chippy would be my calling, but I did that for a couple of days with him, and I think I realised I was a bit too big to be crawling around, and my knees don't have it in. I'd be crawling around on the deck all day and drilling nails. So yeah, I'd probably say out the mines, or just if I could get into it in a way, fishing charters or spearfishing charters. Obviously, there's a big liability with all that, and insurance is through the roof and all that sort of things. But yeah, something along those lines, just things I love doing. And I guess the FIFO or the mines would probably be more leaning towards, so I can make decent coin and do my fishing and spearfishing on your rostered week off. So that's why I love it. Love doing in the off season is my fishing and spearfishing, and you sort of need to have big chunks of the week / months free, so that when the weather comes good, you can send it, because it's few and far between when you can actually get out to the reef.
Yeah, and it's come back to me. We were talking about locker room superstitions. Now, they said that the weirdest one that they have ever come across was Josh Boone and his lollies, and he couldn't take the lolly because it was like a bad juju vibe. But what is like the worst or weirdest or quirkiest superstition you've come across?
Oh, I've come across. I don't know. I haven't really come across too many crazy ones. When I was in Europe, there was a dude that just wouldn't wear like underwear or tights. That was kind of weird. He wouldn't play in it. And then probably the other one was just, I don't know, probably a big conk. I remember a room with, I didn't room with him, but I was Shantra's room with him. I think apparently Brian Conklin would run the Normatex, and he'd go to bed and fall asleep with them on at 10 p.m. And if you've ever been around the Normatex, they're like the whole night. And Big Shanch was just like, told me he couldn't sleep because these Normatex just non-stop going for 5 hours overnight. So that's probably a weird one, and he would do it before a game all the time. So, but obviously that's his recovery and his process. But yeah, other than that, nothing too crazy I've come across. I like to have my no sugar energy drink pre-game, but other than that, I'm not too superstitious about things.
Nice. Now we're going to get into some legacy, some big picture, just to wrap everything off before we finish off the episode. Obviously, we've touched on it heaps, but coming back to the Illawarra, you've said you love the Gong. Gong loves you. What does it mean, and what will it mean for the future of you as well, to not just play for them, but be able to represent the region?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I had that with Townsville. Had that 1 year with the Crocs, and it's a similar vibe to that, like just small town, sort of written off. No one expects you to really do that well, and to come in and play for the underdogs. Like, there's still doubt on me, and there's still, I'm not going to be a finished product. Like, I'm still going to be working through things, and there'll be growing pains this year. Like, still been out for 2.5 years, and I haven't played. Like, I love the NBL 1, but it's not the NBL, and obviously the refereeing's not the same as the NBL. The level of play is not the same. It's all just, a massive drop from what the NBL is, and you know, I'm not saying I'm going to be rolling in and averaging 20 and being a finished product. Like, this is, you know, I'm still 27. This is a big picture for me. It's come in, handle everything I need to, get better, you know, have the coaching staff help me get better, and you know, as it goes on, hopefully I can keep building, and the trajectory that I've been on for sort of the last 12 months, if I can just keep that going, you know, who knows where I'll be in a year or 2 years time, like, you know. So
Love that. And probably just to add to that a little bit, like, what kind of legacy do you want to leave when you've finished, all said and done? Obviously, you've gone through a lot of stuff, and you've obviously been given like a bit of a second chance. And you're probably looking at life a little bit differently now. When people look back on Harry Froling and say, what do you want you to be remembered by?
yeah, I guess from what I've been through, I've learned basketball is not my identity. Like, I'm a basketball player, but it's not who I am, and I can't put all my eggs into that basket. So if I'm just remembered as, you know, a great basketball player who was a great teammate, and if I leave with, you know, a lot of close friends and great relationships, that's all you can really ask for. And yeah, I just want to be known as the best player and who got the most out of my potential. I know everyone's always written his ceiling's super high, doesn't this, doesn't that, and blah blah blah. So I think now that I'm working towards that and handling what I need to handle. I think it should all just play out. But yeah, I just want to be the best basketball player I can be, and I think I've still got a fair few good years left in me, and I think that'll work both ways. If I can get the best out of myself, I think it'll work out for whatever team I'm playing for, you know, now down the line. And yeah, I just want to enjoy basketball and yeah.
Absolutely, man. And before we wrap it up, we'll head it over to you. Floor is yours. Any questions for us? Any shout outs? Anything? Floor is yours, man.
Nah, nothing really. Yeah, I guess just thanks to the people that helped me. Obviously, I'll miss a few, but you know, the Virgos, the Dean Andersons, JK, the Hawks, and my family and friends. So former partner, all that sort of thing. But yeah, obviously they know I appreciate them, and they you know, they helped me along the way. And yeah, it's a cool thing to, I guess, everyone get a lot of messages, and even the fans that are constantly messaging me, and you know, those people checking in throughout the last 2 years, you know, even Hawks fans, NBL fans, just in general messaging. And you know, I obviously copped a lot of abuse and hate online from old mates posse, and it was good to, you know, hear from the other side of things, and the people that care about you, just checking in, you know, and checking in on your friends and people you don't know, and you know, just being there for people, because it's can be pretty lonely when you're away from work, away from your job, and going through a tough time. So yeah, thanks to everyone that reached out, and you know, people I got back to, people I didn't get back to, fans that just send me the random messages. Like, I do see a lot of them, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, Harry, mate. And thank you so much for joining us today. It actually means a lot to us, and we are so excited to see your journey unfold in NBL 26. We think you're going to have a great season, and I think you're going to be a big part of this back-to-back titles charge. What do you reckon, Sammy?
I'm already expecting to raise another banner this time next year, mate, and we'll have everyone back on. We'll have another party in the Gong. We'll be raising more banners with you, mate, and you'll be on court this time for it. So, got no doubt.
Yeah, hopefully.
Before we go, and it'll piss Corey off. We usually finish the episode with Go Hawks, but I'll finish it with Go Queensland, mate.
Up the Queenslanders. Let's go.
I
I mean, the New South Wales, they do have to, is where the Hawks fans will probably turn on me now. I've said all the good things about them, but they've got a bit of delusional tall poppy syndrome. They're the front runners now. They went through the 8-9 years of just losing, and now they're like, all right, we're going to spruik it and act like we're the greatest thing on earth now. But yeah, with New South's team and the fact they've already dropped one game, shocker.
You got to learn how to kick first. Kick a ball first.
Yeah,
and then
yeah, exactly. But go Queensland.
Cheers, mate. We appreciate you.
Cheers. Thanks, fellas.